Let's go.
Let's go. When I'm the baby.
Stop cranking that soldier boy.
Please.
No.
Please stop.
Stop. Please.
No.
Please, I beg of you, stop cranking that soldier boy.
Please, it hurts.
What am I?
Okay, boomer.
What am I?
Spider.
Okay, that's weird. I just saw something on Twitter. It was me and the little boys get vaccinated, and it was 3 Japanese men, one very small, one very good in weight, and, like shape and stuff, and then the other one's very overweight. They're all naked inside of a fighting ring, and they just like, I guess they all won the match or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they all just start flashing the crowd like, "Woo! Look at us,
All right,
solidarity!"
boys.
And they start hugging. It's like, bare
They're
butt naked men. My face one.
Welcome to the Dundas lore talk, because we don't have everyone here to actually play Dundas, so we are here to talk instead. Where's the? Oh, it's from.
I disagree.
Yeah, we got the rhythm bot.
Oh, it makes sense. My bad.
True. What are your thoughts on Fuck. Can't say that.
I was about to say, rhythm bot.
Marcus?
During a stream, do you have any cool comments to bring to the classroom?
Oh no. Yes, here in the audio. Despite
Oh,
What?
despite.
did not have very creative comments towards the Egyptians after the Suez Canal incident.
Oh my goodness. All right, so do we want to just go ahead and keep working on what we're working on previously, which was this part of
gods
the
and stuff?
document? Yeah,
Sure.
the abilities.
Yeah.
Or we can chat first about things. If you want to chat about, I know you had some things you wanted to bring up, Doug, before you forget them.
Yeah, so I actually figured out a lot of story beats for my character that I've been working up. If you want to pull up the Discord thing and you want to read it, but
Let me open up my phone.
yeah. But essentially, I figured out. So again, I'm gonna reiterate some of the stuff while you're reading it.
God.
So he tries to do like the summoning ritual. I figured out who's gonna intervene and mess it up. It's gonna be the god of divinity, due to a couple of reasons, and I will bring that up upon now. So when the other gods, like the primordial gods at least, no problem with him like creating summoning magic. The god of life is like, all right, sweet, we got more life. I can deal with more things. God of death, the same thing but opposite. He's like, all right, I got more shit to reap.
One more thing that'll die eventually.
The natural,
Exactly,
yeah,
like-
the natural cycle will happen more.
Yeah, exactly. So those two guys are like, all right, sweet, we like the summoning magic. The god of material was like, all right, that's a banger. That means more things are going to be invented. I have more jurisdiction over things, and there's more material. Like you're creating things out of nothing. There's more material for me to like prospect over.
Yeah.
Divinity was not about that, because that would signify the bond between him and his partner, the lady that I wrote about. Did you read it, Chris?
I haven't got fully ready yet. I was listening to you.
Oh no, you're fine. But like, because I know Marcus read it, and if you forgot some parts of whatever, I just don't want to like explain it while you're reading it. But like,
Yeah.
But,
I remember the partner was should I say it?
no, I'm just like, yeah.
Give me
you
a
can.
second. I'm already like halfway through it.
Yeah.
But
So
that's
it's kind of a
who.
banger TV.
Thank you, Marcus. But- That's who is going to intervene. It's going to be the god of divinity.
Yeah.
He's going to be not necessarily. I don't want to say jealous, but he's going to be like, the balance of order is fucked up, and you're the cause of it.
So was
you
he
need
trying to
be
split his mind into an actual like a normal human, so he could have a child?
No. So what he was trying to do, because he was like a primordial god, let's just say that it's kind of like his essence was too powerful for a woman to like hold his seed or whatever.
Correct.
So what he was gonna do, he was gonna create and summon a baby basically, and he's gonna be like, "This is our kid," and she'll be like, "All right, sweet, we have a kid now." That's gonna be like
okay.
the signification of our bond. I love you this much. I'm going to create something for you. And Divinity was like, that bond is gonna upset the balance, and you're gonna like undermine everything that I am about
Mm-hmm.
kind of moment. So
Yeah.
that's why Divinity
Basically,
pulled
he
up.
was like, that's cringe.
He was like, "That's cringe. That's cringe. Women are cringe." And so he
Divinity is sexist. Women
Awesome.
cringe.
Are you joking me? This is a pre-literate society. Do you think they are not sexist?
That's
like
a good point.
6 people can read, and 4 of them are women. But that's what he's gonna do, and that also like adds some more things. So like I'm going to just throw it out there. People don't speak primordial, like at their level. The gods speak primordial. 'cause they had to
Primordial is way
communicate.
too hard to comprehend, and it has arcane. Like you actually cast magic while you're saying it, so
Exactly.
no one that like standard practice can understand it.
Exactly. So that's why I'm gonna like in canon, my guy created common, so that he can communicate with them. And he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, y'all bussin'," as the kids say.
He
Do the kids say that? I don't know that.
He created a common language to get everyone together under the same barrier to a certain extent.
Exactly.
It could
Exactly.
be also the primordials knew that they were leaving, and they had to try and get everyone together, and they only had so much time to do so. So they were probably like all working together to a certain extent to try and fix, like, get everyone together before the dragons left.
That might be even better.
Oh,
That might add to the story.
Julian's here. Julian, big boy Julian.
Durazio?
Yeah.
Big
Nice.
nuts, Julian.
Hi,
You can join the
Julie.
chat if he wants, like the
Yeah,
straight
if
up.
you want to, you can.
You can just join the stream, lol. You don't have
We're
to like.
we're
sit on
just
the phone.
chatting about D&D stuff. That's what
Yeah.
we're just
If
sitting
you
here
if
chatting.
you want to join, I can explain to you a character I've been cooking up for a fat minute.
It's up
It's
to
up
you.
to him though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
so he's doing dishes.
Oh, good. Yeah, nice. As the grinding it out, but so he's gonna do that. He's gonna. That's why he did the summoning ritual. It's gonna get messed up by divinity, and he's gonna not hate the other primordial gods. He's gonna hate the subsequent gods because he doesn't understand. Like, where did you guys come from? There was only 4 of us, excluding him. There's like 5 in total.
Yeah.
But there's 4 of them. And what I want to do also, I want my guy, Material, and Life to be like best buddies. Mainly him and Life.
Mhm.
I want like the God of Life to be like that friend that steps the fuck up after you die.
Yeah.
Like he's like taking care of your kids. So what I want him to do, he realizes that divinity fucked up, like Arcane. I feel so bad for him because he was my brother that he's gonna reach out to the woman because like this is gonna be like the calamity goes out and she's like, I don't know what happened. Like my husband's gone, my projected kid is gone. I don't know what's going on. He's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna level with you. Shit ain't good right now. So he's gonna give her. Actually, he's gonna be the first one, and this is also gonna make divinity fucking hate him too.
Yeah.
But since he's the god of life, like
He
divinity
bears her a
cannot fuck
child.
with that.
Well, he could bear her a child. He could
No, not
give
that.
life. Okay.
Not that. No, what the god of life is gonna do is that he's gonna be the first person to deify someone outside of the dragons deifying them.
Oh.
So he's
okay.
gonna give her a power, like let's just say the goddess of motherly, or she is the pantheon
She
of
could
motherly
be.
love.
She could be the god of life, like the god of life, because they're primordials. So the primordial could have created the deity of life.
Oh, so he
And
might
then
be like, okay,
The belief of the deity created the god of life, which is a very complicated cycle.
Mhm.
Basically, she's a demigod of life without life existing yet. And because she was helping so much and like life became so known, obviously life is known, but not the actual image of life.
yeah,
That it became a god.
I vibe with that. So that
She-
was gonna be
She was the first. She was the follower of life before life was able to be followed
yeah,
to a certain extent.
and I want her to essentially get. It could be immortality because I don't know how long ago the primordials were. I would assume a fat fucking minute.
Batman. I haven't made a timeline yet. I don't think we're at a.
Okay.
I don't know if we're at a point where we
But-
can start making a timeline, but
No, that's completely fine.
yeah.
But I want her to like outlive an average human because after the first quote unquote calamity event with the child, I want her to start following the child after life tells her like, this is your kid. Arcane wanted you to do like he wanted that to be like your bond. Divinity fucked it up because he's a dickhead, and I want her to then eventually just like follow the calamity because she's like, that is my son. I love my son. I love my husband, so now I will love my son even though he is a fuck up.
So is
And
she basically like she's kind of behind Calamity? Like after shit happens, she like fixes it to a
Before
certain
and
extent?
after. Before and
Okay.
after. Calamity, after the first, like, let's say the first Calamity event where he went to a city, fucking razed it to the ground within like 3 hours. Killed everybody. Slaughter. Fucking massacre. She was like, my child, that was disgusting. He literally doesn't even like recognize her. He's just like war, path, death, disease, famine,
Yeah.
pestilence. Like he's moving forward. He doesn't care. So she's going to follow him, project where he's going to the next city, and then she's gonna like soften the blow by like removing people or escorting children out or
Yeah.
doing this or healing
Basically
the sick.
getting them the hell out even if they don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna get most of the people out, but almost exclusively children. She does not give a shit. She will knock out a motherfucker with like magic to be like, up, sleep.
Yep.
You pass
good
out.
night.
It's like, all right, kid, come here. Kid, come here. And I was gonna genuinely write this earlier too. I was trying to, but I couldn't think of rhymes. I was gonna make a poem about her, and she was gonna be like, the maiden of, let's just say, the mist, because like this League of Legends, and I just can copy that
Yeah.
right now. But like the maiden of the mist. But like, let's say the calamity exerts a red fog. If the red fog hits your city's fucking done. But
Yeah.
right before the red fog happens, a woman emerges from that mist, and then she sings everyone to sleep, and she tells the kids a story, and the kids follow her, and it's her charming the kids. That's the story in air quotes. She's charming the children to follow her, and then she'll bring them to like the Holy Citadel, where they have enough protections to at least push the calamity back,
To at
where
least
the
get them the
Calamity-
fuck off. Yeah.
to at least get them the fuck off. So she will bring all the children to a major city, and then that city is gone, and the kids will probably get like a mesmerization spell or like forget or something like.
There's
So that-
spells to change to alter. It's like I think it's literally called alter memory.
Yeah,
You can
she'll
alter
alter
some-
their memory, and then she'll just dump like 150 orphans in a major city, and so that is like her purpose. That's her only purpose at the moment.
Yeah, it's just working to recover what the
Yeah.
calamity is about to, and it does fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. That is her only story significance at the moment, but that is what I want her to do. But she was the lover of the wizard, and she
Lover
was
of the wizard,
first,
first believer of life.
first believer of life, and she might even be like considered like the god of motherly love, like Artemis. Or, is it
Mhm.
Artemis?
Maternity. would be
Maternity. Yeah, maternity would be Artemis. But she could just like have that title or something like
Yeah.
god of life, maternity lover, or something like that.
I mean,
And-
she could also be, since she's probably so old, wise, she could be one of the only dual god, like, blessed, where,
Mhm.
like, she has the god of love and the god of life on her side, to a certain extent. And I want to eventually do dual blessings. That's something far in the future.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
not even worth
Dual
mentioning
dual
now, but-
blessings it's gonna be that's something that's gonna happen like all the way in the future, because that means I'm gonna have to redo all the, because duels mean there's gonna be an effect from each that's gonna have the effect, stuff like that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to balance them out so that if you have two, you're not just one-shotting a room and then looting everything with an
Yeah.
auto detect.
Exactly.
You're not gonna break the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me run to the bathroom real quick. Marcus, fucking talk. Don't be quiet the whole time like you were last
What?
time.
I'm listening.
I'm kidding.
I'm
I'm
listening.
just messing with you.
Oh,
And also, by the way, Marcus, you can claim one of the
Yeah,
primordials.
you can just like pick them out.
if you want to start working on the lore of one of them, because there's still death, life, arcane, and what is it? What's
Divinity.
divinity and
Well,
what's
arcane is mine.
material?
Yoink.
Yeah, okay.
There's material, life, death, divinity.
And that
I-
doesn't.
I
You
got
don't
a-
have. You can break the niche, like how I made the sun god a complete dickhead, and then Moon's actually a pretty chill guy. Like you can break norms. We're not here to just follow norms at all times.
Yeah, fuck
But-
society.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
We hate society
We hate
that
society.
we live in.
Now
Oh,
that
you
we
can-
are
you
alone
can
in a
hear my
stream.
mic.
What?
Let me mute it. You're good.
Oh no, he's muting his mic. I was gonna say, now that we're alone with the stream, controversial opinions come out because we cannot be punished. I'm kidding. Christopher, tell me how you think about Dominicans. Truly.
Well,
Oh my god. Did you get any more ideas about the Genasi dimension? The genies and such?
fucking I have like the actual like appearance of the dimensions. Kind of it's and plus I have kind of how they're connected.
Mhm.
I guess. So the way I could explain it is that if there's like a high enough concentration of a certain type of energy,
Mhm.
you know, like if there's a high enough concentration of energy, probably like some of it would be that place would be like highly connected to the plane of whatever.
Oh, okay. So like,
you know,
let's
in
just
the
use
ocean,
for like
in
a.
ocean area.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's for like
In
a
ocean
throwaway
area, it would be
example,
like-
maybe like a fire temple or something that could be really connected to the fire Genasi realm.
Yeah, because it's heavily saturated with, you know, the
Yeah, like-
element of fire. So it would be like very, very closely connected. Like you could tear a hole in the fucking dimension and you'd just end up there. Like
Yes.
right there. You could walk in a fucking hole in the air and you'd be there.
Beasting.
Yeah, like or like an entrance to like the water dimension would be like you could dive deep underwater or some shit. There'd just
Mhm.
be a random fucking tear in the dimensions that you could just end up in the water plane with a bunch of fucking not dryads, the water version of dryads. Naiads.
So
Yeah,
there's so
everywhere.
portals to like the
Okay,
water
water-
dimension
water
are basically everywhere if there's deep enough water.
If there's like he what are you saying? There's like
not
if-
like deep enough water. I guess it would be like it would kind of basically just be confined to the oceans,
Hmm.
pretty much. And you know the oceans are all connected, so it'd probably be like one spot within the ocean, just you know,
Like-
to
It could. I
avoid
like.
too much availability to that
Yeah.
accessibility to that plane.
I mean,
Yeah.
people were taught like if you probably don't know, but I'm going to be referencing the League of Legends. What is it called? What's
Lore?
the fucking plane called? The one with Yordles, Bandle City.
oh, Bandle City.
Where there's actual like it's secret portals that can only be activated by people that know how to do it, basically.
Yeah.
So any
like,
source
there
of
could be,
water
like, a-
could be a portal, but you have to know how to do it properly.
Yeah. Like for an example, like in some of the animations when they leave Bandle City through a portal that's like just in the city, they will pop out. There's a sign that says like tavern, and they'll like mold out of the letters of the T and the A and the R, and it's just like that's a portal, but it's still a tavern sign. But like you wouldn't know that. It's
Yeah,
just a
no
tavern sign to
no
you.
one would know that without actually like being
doing
whatever, being,
extensive
exactly,
into
and
all
like
kinds of things.
and stalking like people to figure it out. Crazy people would have to know how to do it. Like people that are so crazy about it that they figure it out by like stalking things, sort of situations. There would probably
Yeah.
like what you were saying before, Marcus. Like there's probably one portal that they can't close, which is probably like closer to like the middle of the sea, where they probably have
I'm
it guarded
thinking-
with a lot of water monsters.
I'm thinking something like fuck, what was I thinking before?
And
Like,
you weren't
there
weren't
would
here.
either be like a specific spell or I wasn't here.
No, I was gonna say Chris
talking
wasn't
to me,
here, and
huh?
I was gonna.
Oh,
But continue.
okay.
I'll say it when you're done.
I was thinking like there would be like some sort of spell or incantation to do, or a being with like sufficient power could literally just bust a hole through the fucking dimension, like a dimensional barrier or shit.
Yeah, well, there is spells where you can just people can just
freaking
waltz in the dimensions. It's a spell, or you can actually.
Yeah, I know there's a spell.
So like people with high
There is actually a
people that are
spell
high
there.
enough level can like do that. So that is
Yeah.
true.
There's also one where you can like kind of just speak to a,
A person in that
I
dimension.
don't want to say representative.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like a being in that dimension.
this
But it
is
can't
I,
break
the
your
representative.
sanity, so
It is I.
it can't break your sanity if you
Well, I'm
fail
sure
a
if-
check.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure if you try and talk to
risky.
Death's dimension, you're gonna lose your shit. Hearing the screams of a million souls in your ear at in 1 second.
It would seem I'm going a bit loopy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
But what we were talking about initially, I was asking him about if he had any more like ideas or anything about the Genasi elemental dimensions with the genies and such, and he brought up that his initial idea was that if there's a concentration of a certain element or type of magic, that's where like the rips would be, like he was saying with the
Oh,
ocean
yeah.
example.
So
Like
in-
if there's enough of the element that there's just going to be a little rip right there.
do you think in a minute, like if a war happened, there'd just be fucking portals opening up? That'd be like just
Yeah,
a dimensional
that would be
portal.
beasting.
Just
Yeah.
as two fireballs
least-
collide at the same time. Just a fucking portal to the flame dimension opens.
Yeah. Or at least like the barrier between
Would
that
be thin.
dimension and this this plane would be really thin enough so that anything could kind of manipulate it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can pull out like
Fucking,
People
Let's
in the
say if,
fire
like-
plane just fucking like come through.
I was thinking more like if so, like let's say if there's a lot of fire. Yeah, it was popping, boo. But like if there's like a huge battle and they were casting a lot of fireball magics, let's say that the barrier was very thin and some random caster throws a fireball in canon when he's playing, let's say it's like a level 2 spell, because there's such a thin line, it just like ramps up to a level 4 spell.
Oh, so
And that's
it'll amplify that fire.
Okay. That's actually kind of beasting. I don't know how I didn't think of that, but that's actually kind of fucking beasting.
Yeah, like some of the, depending on that element, it kind of bleeds through onto the other plane of existence. That
Yeah.
would be fucking cool.
Yeah. Or that plane bleeds into here, amplifying
Exactly.
the spell's power.
So that'd be kind of like you could think about it. Like you'd have to strategize. Like if a portal, like if you sensed a portal opening up, you would have to like strategize your spell that you're going to use, and place it so it's being affected by the portal. If you
my
could
thing
sense
with-
it.
My only thing with that though, I want to say for 99.9% of people, that's just RNG bullshit. Like, why the fuck did my fireball puff out because the energy got sucked out? Or why did my fireball get bigger? I genuinely think there would be very few archmages that would actually understand what the fuck was going on, or a Genasi.
Yeah. Well, if Genasis are front, because Genasis can be born on the mortal plane. If they're
Yeah,
born,
I know, but they would understand that like there's different dimensions for the Genasi. I don't think a common dude who's never seen any, like outside of like a Minotaur, he saw it at like a gladiator ring, would
Yeah.
know anything about it. Like I think that incredibly intelligent people and very arcane focused people would understand.
Yeah.
Probably like ancient people as well.
Yeah.
Or like at least people, old enough to understand shit like that.
Exactly.
Like
Able to
this would
comprehend
require
it and
tons
just learning it
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they
it
understand
would
like
require like tons of extensive research, or just being around when
shit
the
hits the
Pyronians
fan.
were more closely connected with humankind.
Yeah.
So yeah, fucking yeah, that was my idea on how those planes would be like connected with the actual universe.
That's fucking cool. I like it.
Think,
Mark-
man.
Are you gonna I think you should like start writing down the ideas of the 4 different genies for the 4 different realms, like how they're gonna act. Not like a full character breakdown sheet, but like start thinking about how each
Just
of
like
them
their
would,
personality.
yeah, how their personalities, maybe like a name or something for each of them, maybe just like a
Okay.
generic trait about them or something.
Yeah. And putting out that basic stuff of like their personality and stuff, so at least I know the personality that I have to go with in your head, so I don't, or like even if you run it, so you know it in your head later on.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, yeah, I can do that. I can 100% do that. Okay, let me actually make a thing with that in my phone, and I can
Dude.
just like jot shit down whenever I want.
Yeah.
Notes on phone, especially like on Samsung, that is such a low key save, dude. I have so many notes.
Bro,
I have so many just random just notes.
I fucking agree. That shit makes things so much easier. I even have notes for where I work.
Let's go.
All right. So there are 5 primordial beings in the world of Edorgan. World of Edorgan. These beings were created before gods themselves were manifested, being given their powers by the ancient dragons. Many know of the tales of these more as now
The water was on top of me. Last
fairy
night?
tales.
Or did we have it? Oh. That, yeah. No, I know. I know.
Okay. There are 5 primordial beings in the world of Edarkan. These beings were created before gods themselves were manifested, being given their powers by the ancient dragons. Many know the tales of primordials, as they are now fairy tales and stories for children. So, like, the story of the wizard is probably, like, some really fucking, like... What is it called when you make it, like, light?
Oh, like a
Folklore, tall tale.
Folklore,
it's like
tall
a
tale.
real... It's like, the primordials are tall tales now. Not
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
see them out in the open. You hear them in your children's books. It's
Yeah,
not...
they're just like fairy tales. They're just like jokes, kind of.
Yeah. So when
Yeah,
you see one in person, you're like, what? You're real?
I don't even think you would.
If you would
Oh,
put 2 and 2 together, like the love story between your character and the now deity of life and love would definitely be something in a children's book.
Yeah.
It's something that's known that divinity fucked shit up, and they basically.
I think it would be so diluted it wouldn't even make sense.
It would probably be a love story about betrayal.
Yeah, maybe. Like the story gets so fucked up. Like that's if we were gonna introduce that into like main canon, like a story like that. Hi Nick, I love you. And if they were to introduce it in the story, like let's purposely fuck up the story for folklore reasons.
Yeah.
Just like muddle it up.
It would
Yeah, muddle it up into garbage. Yeah.
It would need the beads. It would just be a basic love tale. Like certain aspects would be true, but once you get past the summoning getting messed up by divinity, the storyline would just be made up by other people.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like a King Arthur thing, because like people think King Arthur was real, but people also are confused on what he actually did.
So like the story would be completely changed. It would just be like after that happened, it would say like the god of love came down and then bestowed the love of his life a child, and that was the end.
Yeah.
So it's just like betraying the whole story for a kid is that betraying someone isn't a good thing.
Yeah,
And
it's bad. Don't betray.
it's never gonna work for you
Yeah.
because they're always gonna get what they're looking for in the end.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then, like, when a party, it doesn't matter, we don't know what party, we don't know when this is happening. When a party finds out the situation, they're going to be like, wait a minute. Huh?
I don't even think, like, because, like,
It'd be
They're
hard to
probably
put two and two together.
and, like, the thing with these stories is that outside of, like, life, death, who the fuck is gonna know materialism? Like, maybe it's just like a
Oh,
like
materialism isn't talked about. I can assure you he's probably the least talked about one.
Yeah, he's probably just like, he'll probably just pop up one day. It's like, what are you? Who the fuck cares? They'll literally just points at you, turns you into like a toy stuffed animal. Bah, bah, bah. But like, maybe it's like a I don't want to say a dialect, but like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like not a local thing, but like only certain regions know certain folklores about certain primordials.
Yeah,
Like, let's say the Holy Citadel has no idea what the fuck is going on, but like a little city in the water knows about death because people drown, and so they'll see him.
Yeah.
Maybe like that.
It's
Region.
with
Yeah,
death.
regions.
I don't think death has always has the aspect of reaping the souls. I like in my ideas, death kind of guides the people that are struggling to die.
Mm.
That is what death is. If you die from drowning or something like that, that's a natural sort of.
You're on your own.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But death has multiple. He has a spiritual and a mortal form. Even as a baseline person, death has a separation between the two.
Mhm.
So he guides people as a soul and in the mortal plane. He does both.
Gotcha.
I think the primordial version of death is just there to make sure that death happens.
Yeah, he's the one that's like overwatching the spirit realm to be like,
Yeah.
all right, do we have the quota for today? All right, let's make sure that this amount of people are dying. Oh, is there a war going on? I'm going to add 500 of that.
Yeah.
And then he'll go out, and then the mortal one will be like going over a battlefield where like wounded soldiers who go.
Yeah. Just to make sure he basically meets his quota to a certain aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And like, and it's making sure like liches and stuff like that don't exceed the amount of time that they're like allowed.
Yeah.
Because liches, when you become a lich, you still gain more. Like death doesn't fuck with you when you first become a lich. He lets you have some fun, but once you pass like a certain threshold, then he's coming after you.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you're a rotten apple.
Yeah,
like
you're
you just
past
need to
your
be thrown
stay.
away.
You're useless to light. You're useless to the cycle. You're not.
Yeah,
you're
skipping the middleman.
Yeah, it's time for you to restart. Bye.
How would death respond to the idea of a necromancer?
He, like I was saying before, there would be a time limit for them. So you could become a necromancer and raise dead. Because raising dead is artificial. You're not giving it a soul.
It's a fake summon. It's a fake summon.
You're not giving them a soul. If people, I'm sure people have tried at putting a soul into a zombie. Yeah. It's just, it's magically based most of the time, where corpses will come back.
Yeah.
Because summoning and a lot of stuff like that our boy has been doing, that a lot of that is artificial arcane souls, where they follow the will of your maker because you are linked by magic. So yeah, I'm sure, and we'll probably talk about it as like a lore thing that I'll make up on the spot, like when you guys encounter like the primordial death or something like that. But like people trying to input their souls into input someone's soul into that, and then death's obviously got something to say because you're fucking with his souls. And then
absolutely.
Yeah. And life's
there's
gonna
only
be
a
mad.
few people that can like stick their hand into death's pot without him being like,
exactly.
Squeeze me, madam. Squeeze me.
You first gotta enter the lair of death. You gotta not get mind fucked by millions of souls screaming. and then you gotta find the soul you're looking for, and then make it back
Yeah.
alive.
You got to deal, and like after that, you got to deal with death, and then after that, you got to deal with life because you spawned something he didn't know about.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
So now you got two primordial beings who are like, "Ayo, pull the fuck up,
What are you doing?
pull,
Bye.
yeah, explain yourself up, bye." And just for like, I have two questions. So the god of death, the one that we see with Kairu, is that the primordial one or different?
No, he's
Just
the
so
god.
for-
He's the god.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making sure. And for power scaling, can we please say the primordials are the most like apex, can't even touch them,
Yeah,
uncomprehendable amounts of power?
Primordials have cosmic magic.
Thank God. Okay, because I wanted
Primordials
the
are cosmic.
primordials to be like untouchable in the sense.
Gods
Probably on
use
some rewrite the laws of reality type shit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
gods use
Yeah.
divine, like
Mm.
genuine divine magic.
Yeah, it
Co-
comes like divinity makes the gods magic. He gives them the power to use their things.
Yeah, divinity.
And so where the fuck does
divinity
divinity get it?
Yeah, divinity was the guy that helped the gods when they became like their small little entities
Mm.
become mortal.
Mm.
He's the one that guided that process because I'm sure he's like, I want everyone to see that I'm doing something too.
Kind of, yeah. He's a fucking little prissy bitch.
Yeah, he was like, I want people to see that I'm doing good. I'm gonna bring these gods to the plane. I'm gonna teach them how to live and live
Yeah.
amongst their people that believe in them. And then the
For
gods
the-
started taking over because there's just more gods, and the primordials had to do their jobs.
Yeah, primordials have a job. Gods are gods. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
And that's kind of what's happened now. Is that the gods run their towns and they keep within their barriers, so they're not fucked with by the primordials.
Yeah. Primordials are like the cop.
Basically, they're the god cops. It's
Yeah,
it's
they're god
primor-
cops.
Yeah,
I can imagine too that like if a god sees like let's say for divinity like okay, I fuck with divinity. They see life. I semi fuck with life.
yeah.
They like pull up with death like ayo, the clock. Am I reading this wrong? I still got time, bro. Ayo, I still got
No,
time.
whoa, chill, chill.
They pull up with materialism because like let's say like I want to say that the god of the sun pisses his fucking pants when the god of materialism pulls the fuck up like you are a god, why the fuck do you have a small loan of $1 million sitting in your pocket? You see,
I like money.
pocket hand,
Pocket change.
pocket pocket pennies. But like just for like my character's lore, the moment that a god sees, I want to see like outside of like ones that are fine, and like the sun can give a shit about magic, but like shit like they poopy pants. I don't know.
They would,
Arcane is just like
they would
so
have that
fucking-
innate fear of them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. Out of
Especially-
all of them, you can respect life, but you still fear life because he can take your
Yeah.
life.
especially
And
with
he can
people
give-
that know that like they're the shit, and then someone else stepping in and you know they're stronger than you.
Yeah,
That it's like that kind of like fear. Like
it's
someone that's better than you has come into your domain.
yeah. Like you know you can't fuck it. Like I don't know. Have you guys seen Overlord, the anime?
No. I know
Have you,
of
Marcus?
it. I know of it.
Okay, Marcus, do you remember the part where Ghoul, like Ainz Ghoul, let a bunch of adventurers into his castle, and then it was the gladiator pit where it was like 5 adventurers fighting him, and he's
I
like,
remember
"This is
that.
a fucking joke."
Yeah.
And then they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like you're not a mage, you pussy bitch."
And then he
takes
took off
off
his
his
ring. And
He
the
takes
person
off the ring.
vomits.
Girl immediately shits pants, comes jorts, throws up. It fucking blows her brains out. She's like, "Yeah, we lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
remember
yeah, we
that.
lost. We lost. That's it."
I
Run,
remember, 'cause I
run,
saw
fear.
I saw that part in like a video.
It's such a flex. I want the primordials to be at that level of if you look around me and you look about 90 degrees to your right, you might be able to see the horizon line of my mana consumption.
Now perish.
Now, Now you really want to reconsider licking my fucking boots now, don't you?
Yeah, little pussy bitch.
Yeah, master. Yes, master.
Yes, man.
Would you like your shoes signed with my piss?
Shall be arcane, comma, divinity, comma, life, comma, death, and
Materialism.
material.
I think, for throwing it out there, like, this is before the split. Arcane was very much, like, level-headed. He is very smart.
He was
Choice of
a
words.
genius, which is why
He
he was
was a-
selected, which is why he was picked
Oh.
to be arcane.
Absolutely astronomical levels of IQ. Absolutely, quite literally unparalleled. Very few even come near to how smart he is. Maybe one or two people as smart, maybe one person smarter. Like, he
Yeah.
is so intelligent that it's not even a joke. I want to see Divinity is like a very like not really harsh, but like he is. I am a god. You guys are nothing else. I give you my power. He is very much like kind of brunt.
I'm sure
Very
he
much.
like with the he has like small gods that work for him for divinity,
Maybe.
and he's
he's an
"You are my
elitist.
pawn."
He's an elitist as fuck. He's
Yeah.
elitist. He's so full of himself, but he's not gonna like. He understands people's like, you're the god of this. I will not cross that line because I gave you that power. But
Yeah.
if you cross into my line, I will fucking murder you. Kind of moment.
Also,
That's
you hear
how-
the vacuum in the background?
No, I genuinely don't.
Okay, because the cool thing is that my computer has a built-in noise suppression
Like-
that you can put how loud it is in your house. I have
that's
that
cool.
on, so like there was a vacuum running the entire time downstairs.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was
cool.
talking for the last 5 minutes, and I
Didn't
use
even
noise
notice.
suppression on OBS too. So I'm looking, it doesn't even see it. It's not even there.
Nice.
But it's
That's
because
good.
it's I think it has like voice recognition too, so it can tell when I'm talking
Mhm.
to a certain extent. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
You're fine.
But
That's how I see Divinity. Life, death. I want to say materials probably chill.
Material
just,
is probably because he's the least known. He
Yeah,
probably
he's
gives the
probably just,
least
like, a
amount of
bore.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I want to say he's not. For this is me. We can completely change it. How I see it at face value, he's bored. He's like, I've already made everything.
Yeah,
and
there's
I
nothing
give
new
people
for me to
ideas
make.
to make. Like, there's like the time of invention has ended. There's nothing to be made.
Yeah, and
He's kind of at his wit's end, so he's bored. And
He
he's
can't-
like,
he's probably like literally he's on like the biggest form of what is it called when you're writer's block. He's like
oh yeah, he has writer's block as fuck.
he just can't think of anything new to make or where
Yeah.
to put it or what to do with it.
That's why I want him. That's why I like him in life being great friends with the god of Arcane, primordial god of Arcane. Because the Arcane would be like, hey, what about this? And Material's like, that's a banger idea. And then they collaborate and they make shit. That's one reason why I think they would be very good friends, because he's so smart. He could be like, you know, you haven't solved that watermill issue where the watermill runs out of water and it stops working. Maybe have it also do it with wind. And like Material was like, that's a banger idea. I'm gonna do it. I'll patent it, send it, ship it. Good.
I'm sure I have a hunch that he probably lives with the dwarves because they're the most
Oh.
they make the most shit. And
Yeah.
they're the most creative minds.
Mhm.
So he probably
Probably.
or like the highest people of Dwarvenheim, no longer Dwarvenheim, probably know of him and probably work with him in the shadows. Because materialism doesn't really want to be known. He likes knowing that other people are using his shit.
Yeah, he likes just making shit. He doesn't care who made it. He wants to see stuff created.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. Yeah, he could probably have like a really high tower in Dwarvenheim, let's say, and that like all the dwarves know like, oh yeah, he's the dude, he's the maker. Let's just call him like the maker in air quotes.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, the maker. What do you fucking mean? They don't know he's primordial. They're just like, oh, he's just been there forever. You go to his tower, you talk to him, you give him an idea. He said, I already made that, or like, here's an idea. But like, he just vibes there. Outside of Dwarvenheim, because he's just so unearthed, he's so boring.
Yeah.
Outside of Dwarvenheim, no one would know who the fuck he is. and no one knows that he's there.
Yeah, exactly. I
Kind
feel
of like he's like a local legend, maybe.
Yeah. And at this point, he's probably just like, he's used to make money. Just as
Yeah,
a
he's just
fucking
like a
scheme.
marketing scheme.
Yeah. It's like, have whatever you want made in seconds. Some bullshit
Yeah.
like that.
And like I can imagine during the Dwarvenheim like fiasco right now, he's just fucking bored even more because there's no one to talk to because they're all fighting each other.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting in his tower, too lazy to get up because he's sad. Because he's also sad that the primordial god of Arcane split and shit
Yeah.
and fucked up.
In my mind, also for the Primordials, we could probably have an entire adventure focused around learning the history of the Primordials.
I would
That-
like that.
That's why I put the stories of these people will be covered in its own adventure.
Mhm.
Because it'll be something that you guys you meet fucking Arcane, and like you guys are like, what the who's the fuck is this?
Yeah, who the fuck's this? Who's this
And
dumbass?
he starts talking about like his wife, and he's like, can you all help me find my wife?
Oh,
Also,
dude,
fuck the Goldsteins.
fuck the like after the split, I want him to not have like dementia, but like he's so he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Like he just sees her as like, oh, hot lady, hi, hot lady, but she's too busy dealing with the calamity that she's like, no, she knows that like whatever goes in front of him, he can murder in one hit. He's fine.
Yeah.
I have to deal with the calamity. She knows that he's fine, and then he kind of forgot about her. That's how I want it to be right now.
Yeah. It could be that like the adventurers are in a town where the calamity's about to hit, and they just see like this kind of like figure kind of hopping around, just taking kids.
Yeah.
Everyone's passed out, and they probably walk in once everyone's asleep, so they're not
Mhm.
affected by it. And it's like, huh?
The fuck? Yeah, that could be one.
No.
What do you think the personality of life and death would be?
Life is probably, I don't know. To my thought is that life doesn't want to be known as life, and kind of just is because at this point life is running by itself. There's nothing that really needs to be.
Like spawned. He doesn't need to create any
Yeah.
new species. He doesn't need to create.
He's probably
He might be kind
a
of
wanderer.
bored. What?
He's probably some sort of wanderer. To a
Yeah,
certain
he's probably
extent.
just walking around. He'll like go into a desert and make a salamander species. And like shit like that. He's just like going around making small endangered species that might die out in a couple of years.
I imagine every time he kills something out of self-defense, he just brings it back. Like he'll kill it and then be like, "Sorry, friend," revivify, and then walk away.
Yeah. I can imagine that he's like that. Very like not sluggish, but like very much like kind of hippie, I wanna say.
Yeah, like
Whatever.
nomad hippie.
Nomad, hippie, very like quiet and to himself. And then like if you get to know him, he'll be like very much loving and shit like that.
Yeah.
I can imagine Death being like a fucking busy working bee.
Oh
That's
yeah.
how I imagine Death. Not even like
a very duty bound.
very
kind
duty
of,
bound.
yeah.
Like I need to go. There's a battle. I need to go clean up. I need to do this. Like because
Death will
people
always be
die
busy.
so
Yeah.
often.
Death will always.
He
be
needs
busy.
to be on track. He's not mean. He's just like a dude that's like doing his job. He does not want to fail it. He understands.
I feel
that
like he has an office somewhere where he has like people working.
it's
for
like
him.
your stereo. It's like that one joke that like when you go into hell, like it's just one big office building because all the bureaucrats go to hell and just
Yeah. I just like you walk into an office. Is like, what's the quota? How have we hit the quota? Death is asking us. What? Where are we at? What's the numbers?
the numbers. It's literally like Santa's little workshop with a bunch of elves or like just like little imps. It's just like creating shit. And then like Death is just like, give me my horse. There was a war.
I gotta
Get
go.
pestilence on the line.
Oh shit! Don't
Yeah.
tell me one of the gods are involved.
Yeah, I can imagine that basically the only asshole is Divinity.
Yeah.
Out of all the other gods, like Material, very boring. That's how I see him. Life, kind of a nomad hippie, like you were saying. I like the nomad idea a lot. Just him walking around, being like, "Hey, look, little lizard. I'll make a cricket here." just kind of
Oh, yeah.
creating shit as he goes.
He's definitely
He'll
just
walk
like
into town.
a nomad, like kind of druid aspect, where he's just like,
Yeah, exactly. Like he'll see like a big harvest, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'll add an extra line of wheat. You guys been cool. Good job keeping your crops." If he
Goodbye.
sees like a dying orange tree, he's like, "Oh, I'll make another." He'll just do shit.
yeah.
He doesn't care. He's like, "I've already
doesn't-
made everything."
He doesn't do anything that's impactful to like actually harm anyone.
Yeah, because he's primarily. I think it's also the coin flip. He understands what death is going through.
Yeah.
He has so much sympathy. He's like, holy shit. The first 10,000 years, we were all vibing. You were able to, like, sit down and have a glass of wine. I don't think you've pissed in a millennia.
The thing is, though, that's the one, like, what does the god of death do, then? Is he the soul guy? Well, because
maybe God of Death, like, not kill people, but, like, he sends them to the realm of, like, the afterlife, and the primordial god is there dealing with it, kind of moment.
No. The primordials stay on the mortal plane.
Okay.
They're entirely mortal. It might be the opposite
Okay.
of what you're saying. So
Yeah,
the god is in the death plane
Yeah.
most of the time.
If he's like that, it might be the opposite. He might just like he'll smell something in the wind. Oh, there's a battle brewing. He'll arrive there beforehand. He'll start like digging graves, and then he'll start like after the battle happens, he'll start burying people.
Oh yeah,
and then
dude,
he'll
gotta
reap.
keep in mind that they're humans. Like they were humanoids. They're actual people.
Yeah.
Like death is probably so like tired of death. But he has to do it.
I think he's I don't think he's desensitized to it. I think he's at that point.
He could. It's like he's like prepping graves while they're fighting. Like you just hear the fighting, and over the hill you see a man, just hundreds of graves just lined up. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I
fucking
think they'd
horrifying.
be like directly involved in like historical events or something like that.
I think they would be.
They probably
in
used to
historical
be.
events.
Used
Yeah,
to be.
I want to say they were. I want to also make like because in the Arcane story, there's like the quote unquote calamity event to make the god of calamity. I want all 5 of them there for that reason. Like that might be like one of the last. There could be other events that happened
More
after
than
that, but, like
likely
one of the last
they were
events that they
forgotten by
all
history.
pulled the fuck up.
More than likely, they were forgotten by history because God started taking over.
Yeah,
In quotation marks.
yeah,
So the primordials just went. They were just doing their jobs, and then the gods were like, "Yeah,
Do those gods still like respect the authority of the primordials?
yeah." The primordials are the lawmaker. They're the law
Yeah.
enforcers. So like,
and like
you can't
Yeah.
can't stop magic from being a thing, or Arcane will intervene. You can't stop. You can't you can't try
you
and
can't
remove
create
gods
real
from
life.
existence.
You can't. Yeah,
Like you can't. There's no such thing as anti-god, sort of thing. You can't try to remove a god, like completely remove the worship of God. Like life is like you can't like I feel like life and death kind of work hand in hand in certain aspects when it's given. So in circumstances like where like there's people literally like massacring, like a sort of like a total war scenario. That's when like these two like random humanoids just step in and be like,
and simply intervene, as they say.
yeah.
Simply intervene.
And people don't encounter them because it happens so fast. And most of the time they plan so they're not actually a part. They're not there to be seen. They're just there to do their jobs.
You're just there to influence things.
Correct.
Yeah.
They're a direct influence without anyone knowing they're a direct influence.
Yeah. For maybe just like a lore example, let's say that there was one capital that was about to siege a small city-state, and it was a total war scenario. Let's just say that Death pulls up as an advisor undercover to the top general and say, like, you know what? Let's just cut off the water supply, dry them out, and wait for a surrender, instead of just slaughtering them and wasting men. He's like, that's a good idea. And it takes only 2 days. They surrender. No one dies. And so Death intervened. Less work for him, and like that. Instead of like pulling up and it'd be like big force field, no one dies. Like they do shit like that in the shadows. Like
Just
Like
subtle things that'll influence,
major
Yeah.
events. Yeah.
things
exactly.
that things that happen, and they're like, "Hey, who is that admiral?" Wait. Who's
Yeah,
that
exactly. Like, man, he was really convincing. I want to give him a promotion. Who?
admiral? Yeah. Who are you
Guy who
talking
just
about?
talked to me. You a
I
schizoid.
think so.
I think you're
We're going
schizo.
to hang you because you are unfit to lead. Oh.
Many moments.
Oh no.
Where do I put? I think I put it. I put it before. Yeah.
That's what I think.
I didn't know there's no primordials isn't the term for a plural. There's no such thing as a plural to primordial. Primordial.
Really?
I guess, but I'm doing primordials because it's better.
Gotcha.
English is weird.
Yeah.
Well,
like-
primordial is an adjective,
Oh yeah, that is true.
so naturally there wouldn't be a plural to that.
Yeah.
Hey. God.
The primordials are similar to law enforcers to both the gods and
man. Just
and
you
man.
could just say man.
What about woman?
That is implied.
Get it? Because I'm retard.
Yes.
So the primordials.
Let's go.
The primordials are like law enforcers to both the gods and man, keeping the world in a constant check and balance. Many know the tales of primordials as they are now fairy tales and stories for children. The primordials are as follows: arcane, divinity, life, death, and material. The stories of these will be covered in its own adventure.
Mhm.
And then when that adventure comes out, we'll have a whole
Like,
history
thing.
sheet that will come out separately in that book.
Mhm.
And then probably with that book is where the dual blessings will be a thing, stuff like that.
For the
Good.
I was gonna say for the primordials, I was actually thinking about it. You could just do multiple one shots just at different times.
Yeah,
We could do that.
just to cover all of it.
Yeah.
It
Like,
could
we
be
can, like-
one shots or just it's a separate story that we do as a one shot at a time.
Yeah. It could be like a snapshot or something.
Yeah.
Like a snapshot to like when the first primordials were made. This is like 1,000 years after, and they're starting to get into their boots. 10,000 years after, and like some of them are starting to lose their influence, like materialism. And then we can have like the arcane event where he splits and divinity. Let's just say divinity like sucks his own nuts, and he becomes incredibly powerful.
He definitely, to my thought process, divinity probably has like gods giving him power, or he's like he uses their blessings to be stronger than the other ones, just to kind of be that threat.
Yeah,
them.
he wants to be the ultimate cop, like the ultimate
Yeah.
being. He's like, I am the divinity. I need to make sure you guys are in check so that you keep everything else in check.
Yeah, and then none of them listen to him. They just tell him, what he wants to hear, and then he's like, "Of course, yes,
No,
divinity."
I can actually imagine, especially after the arcane event, none of the other gods would even like, not gods, but the primordials like spit in divinity's direction.
Yeah,
And I just to fuck with them, divinity has like +1 to everything they have.
yeah, he is.
So in theory, they can all just gang fuck him up.
yeah,
But like, he's slightly better than all of them, and so that's what he's holding over their heads. And they're like, "You fucked up Arcane. If you even come near me, I will break your fucking throat."
And it's good to have that tension there because that's what we can learn about is that tension in that story.
Exactly.
And
that's what I
It's
think
like an
it would be
actual like
really cool.
RPG where it's like, oh, I've heard of the kids book about Arcane and
Yeah.
his lover.
Yeah. And for the snapshots, we can all like play the specific primordials and like we can act them out and shit like that.
Yeah,
And we can have like actual interactions and shit like that. I think it would be cool to have multiple snapshots of that. But we would just need to convey to the other people, like, hey, your character's like roughly like this,
yeah.
as we've written in lore. Are you okay with playing this character?
Yeah, it'd probably be something pre-made where you have some option to it.
Yeah,
And
like,
it's like-
oh, would you like to play this character with this thing? Like,
Yeah.
everyone can pick like what the preset is.
It can literally
Just
just be
an
like
okay.
it'd be like here is your personality sheet. Where it's like this
Yeah.
is your personality. Here's what level you are. Fill it out as you want.
Yeah.
Because spells aren't going to matter because they can change their spells as they go. It's
Yeah.
you presetting your spells that you want to use.
Mhm.
And then you just have to play to that personality.
Yeah.
That'd probably be how it's done.
Yeah.
Then he's
And
giving
for
a
at least
house
the
tour.
primordials, I can imagine the god of primordial god of arcane was like, hey, I'll teach you all how to do it. Like, he just taught them all the magic.
Yes. Magic was probably very, barely existent. Like, my thought is,
Yeah.
there were shamans that knew how to make it rain. And that was
Yeah.
probably about it. I'm taking that from somewhere. I don't know where I'm taking it from. It's an anime. I remember that. I just don't know where it's from.
No problem.
Okay. So now that we're done chatting about primordial lore, I love it. Now we have kind of that set in stone now.
Yeah,
Of
we
what's
have
going
the
on.
basis. Yeah, and we have one of the 5 pillars, at least almost done, because, I can just add, a little bit. Because his start, his middle, his event, in air quotes, and then where he is right now, Arcane's basically done.
Yeah.
It's just
And all of them
actually,
don't have
setting
to
him in
have
stone.
that to a certain extent. Like, material is probably just really boring.
Yeah,
Nothing
his problem
big
is,
happened.
His last, huge thing he made was, fucking something with farming, and then people started leaving his immediate, city. Let's say Dwarvenheim is the start of it was, the 3rd major city, and he
Yeah.
liked it because there was dwarves there. And then people started moving away because they were like, oh, I can farm next to this river, and then a big city popped up there, and he's like, wait, no, come here.
He probably
went,
started the creation of, aqueducts. He was the
Yeah,
one that-
exactly.
Yeah, he was the one that started the. I need to look into the Civ tech tree and see how
Yeah, I know,
far we
right?
are in Civ, and be like, yes,
That is the line.
that's where we are.
Yes. We're at
Probably
the point of trebuchets.
once we drop enough lore, I want to start doing a timeline. We just don't have
Okay.
enough yet. We don't know what's going on in the middle yet. We know the calamity happens.
Yes.
We don't know what happens to everyone else. We just know the calamity happens.
Yeah.
Because we can steal D&D, actual D&D, to a certain extent. Arcane, the god of Arcane, was killed, and a new god of Arcane came up. So for a few days, there was no magic.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
when the calamity happened, we can steal that concept where when the calamity happened, Arcane was out of business for a while. And when he became out of business, magic came out of business.
I was actually kind of thinking about that for a minute, but not necessarily like that. It's kind of not the materialism thing, but when he was creating the calamity, and then Divinity was like, yeah, and fucked them up. The expansion of magic stopped to a fucking crawl for a fucking a millennia,
Yeah.
where basically no new magics were made unless you were a million IQ, and when you wrote it down, you died because you were at the age of 80 fucking
Yeah.
9. Because it took you 87 years to figure it out.
Where you're sitting there sitting there learning. And you're-
Yeah, exactly. That shit stopped.
That could be where the creation of wizard schools started. When
Yeah,
Arcane went out of business, and basically sorcerers were all that's left, and there was just basic shit. People
Yeah.
started studying and
Yeah.
studying, and then that created wizard schools, and that's where
Yeah.
wizards come from.
yeah. Let's do that, yeah. And I want him, just because he's the god of fucking magic and he's incredibly intelligent, I want him to he wrote a finite amount of books, and I want, at one point, us finding one of those books, and just being like, wow, what's this? And it's incredibly overpowered spell that you just need to blow in the northern wind's direction, and then you summon fire. Something so brain dead.
Yeah,
But it's just wow, I could have killed a man with just breathing air.
Yeah, it'd
But,
be
like-
like it'd be like one of the like it'd probably be like 10 of them. It'd be like the 10,
10 books.
primordial tomes of Arcane.
Yeah, and I can imagine, like, at some point, like, someone's talking to the Arcane guys, like, something about wizardry. He's like, yeah, page 9, book 4, paragraph 2, sentence 3, word 5. He's like, what the fuck do you mean? Bitch, I wrote those books. like the fuck you mean? Kind of like that moment from the Narnia, where it's just like, don't quote me on the scriptures. I was standing when they were written, or like I was there where they were
a good
written.
point. We can start now that we have these primordial people. We can start making items around them.
Yeah.
To kind of hint at what's going on.
Oh, that would be
Oh
beast.
shit!
That would be
I'm excited about that.
beast.
Yeah, because I mean, when they were there before gods were, they needed to do stuff to help people. They blessed
Yeah.
items. They did things before they fully knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And obviously,
I can-
because it's primordial magic, that shit's not breaking. It's staying with
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I can imagine that like each of them has like a signature item and maybe like a look to them. We can like design a look for
Yeah.
them and give them to Lindy to draw out or something.
Arcane has
But-
those 10 primordial tomes.
He could have like a backpack full of those 10 books, and he could be the first, like, what was it, a wizard? That's the one that they need an item to
Yeah,
actually
he was.
cast
Yeah,
spells.
he was the first wizard.
Yeah, like he was the first proper wizard. He didn't need it, but he did it.
He liked writing. He liked.
He liked writing because he was so like he. Yeah, exactly. He loved recording. So he was a sorcerer. He was a warlock. He was a wizard. He was a beast. That's what he fucking was.
Yeah, he tapped.
like-
he tapped into every possible outlet of magic. He was. He was
Exactly.
also, to a certain extent, a druid, but he got bored.
Exactly. Like he could have pulled up. He could have pulled up.
Life
If
is
he-
probably closer to a druid than anyone.
Yeah, and I can imagine maybe for death, like, you know, generic scythe, but it could also just be like a huge walking stick. So he's walking to the next mass grave or something,
Yeah,
and then like
it's
that could be like
it's a walking stick. That's a shovel.
that's fucking beast. Like
That's
at one half, like the top half is like the actual walking part,
Yeah.
and then the top half is like a shovel. That'd be fucking cool. Write that down.
I am.
Write that down.
Hold on. I
Shovel / walking stick for death. For life, kind of, it might be a Yorick thing. He might have like holy water just like on him. That could just be like his thing. Like he like dribbles like like special seeds or something, and
His
then
seed.
whatever he. Oh, okay, retard. He can drop seeds or he'll dump water somewhere, and then whatever he wanted to be made was to be made.
Yeah.
He might have like a water pail. That's kind of pussy shit. Trying to think, what would life have?
Maybe like I don't know. His clothes could be so ancient.
Oh, I got a beast idea.
What?
So you know those rice farmers hat? Like
Yeah.
the big sundial
Yeah,
hat, basically?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he could have one of those, and that could be his item. Now, let's say that, so if he wants to place a tree down, he'll like open it up, he'll like get seeds, he'll put it down, and he'll lean his head forward, and like magical water will drop down from the hat, like a fucking like a rain gauge or whatever, where
Yeah.
it funnels water down, and then it drops on it, and it starts instantly growing. Or like, if he wants like a creature to be made, he'll like walk by, and then he'll do something. And like I could just imagine the hat.
Yeah,
doing shit.
like a drop of water coming down from the top of his hat and then it falls
Yeah,
off.
exactly. It could do other shit. Like maybe that drops the seeds, or maybe it drops like an egg for
I
a
feel
lizard.
like, yeah, if life were to give that to someone, it would probably be a free revivify. So like the water from up top, if it were to drop on a dying player, it revives them.
Just completely revitalizes them. They're
Yeah.
like, all right, beasting.
But it can only be used once by a player.
Yeah, primarily don't give a shit though.
Yeah, they have no restrictions to that sort of thing.
Yeah, and like that could be his thing. Like Death has the shovel, Arcane has like the books. He has this hat. He could like put it on his back. He can have it like on a shirt or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a hat, but like it could be like a Swiss Army knife for a hat. We could have that for now. Just like put down a magical hat.
Yeah, I put rice
then-
hat / watering hat.
Yeah,
I put life.
but like
Water.
yeah, but I want that one to be like very much. We can replace that one because that's not as cool and it's not as developed as the other one.
To me, it's life to a certain extent. Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Like you can make like a robe that makes you like immune to your first hit of damage, or something like
Well,
that.
if you want stats and shit, I think we should design it around the actual character and then stats happen.
Right now, we're planning items that the characters are gonna have. I'm also thinking of items that the Primordials have blessed that were just common use 100,000 years ago. So, like, for example, like the Primordial tomes, he obviously lost them because he's schizoid now. So they're probably just randomly scattered places.
Yeah,
and you can find them.
I think for him, he might know where he might be like, yeah, one's in the Holy City. He might know generally where they are, but he just since he knows, he's like, I don't need to read.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. So like the first 10 people he saw, or maybe like someone's like, hey, do you have a book? Sure. Here, you can wipe your ass with it. I can give a shit.
Yeah,
like,
he
just passed them out.
He gave them out years ago.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he roughly because it's also since he made it,
they're his books.
Like there's that. They're his books. He made it with his magic.
He'll know where they are.
He just knows where it is.
Yeah, but he doesn't care enough. Right.
Yeah,
now.
he doesn't care enough right now.
It has
he's
no
more
impact
distracted
on
with
him.
by dancing and drinking water
Exactly.
because he's abstinent. He's a good boy.
He's an abstinent boy that acts like he's drunk.
Exactly. He just is that dumb. What do you think? Divinity might have like a cross or something.
Trying to think of an ambiguous god symbol.
Yeah.
He might have a halo just like above his head, like like just a halo.
He has a halo. It's a magic item that hovers over his head when it's really not a real halo. It's just a magic item.
Yeah,
goes
exactly.
over his head.
Exactly. That might be fuel. That could add to his character. It's fueling his ego because he sees himself as above all the other ones.
Yeah.
Like he could
What
have
about one of them back halo shits? Those shits are cooler.
It'll change colors based on his mood because it's based on because it's attuned to him.
Yeah, it's an item, not an actual halo. It won't be finite.
Oh, gotcha.
He gets angry and becomes red. When he does bad boy things, it becomes just dark black. But when he's like with his ego's up the roof, it's just a bright white to blind you with.
I'm trying to think. The last one's materialism, right?
Yeah, material.
I can imagine that he just had like
It's like a
big
fucking Minecraft
scroll or a
block.
paper or something that's just a huge ass blueprint.
Like an endless blueprint. It's
Yeah,
like an endless scroll.
Ooh. He opens it up, right? He thinks of an idea. The idea then
Writes
becomes
itself?
kind of writes itself. Yeah, it explains to him or to others how it is made in his head. It's conveying his thoughts onto paper instantly. Like he thinks like, oh, I want to build a tower. And instantly it starts getting drawn up like on the paper as it's being drawn up in his head. So that if he was going to build it with someone else, for example, or like show like this is how you design a tower, it'll tell them exactly like that. I think that would be a dope ass item.
I put thought/blueprint scroll.
Yes.
And then material. Now we gotta think of our next point is items that would have been given out by the Primordials that are just found around now. So Divinity was probably giving out some sort of like something like his holy halo to kind of show off.
He might have started like the first kind of religion type thing.
He was the first.
So he could have passed out like a bunch of old like missiles, like little religious books or tomes.
They're like pamphlets that actually are actual like it's a spell scroll.
Yeah, something like that.
I would.
He could do that.
I don't know. You had a feeling like you'd go to an old torn down city, you'd find them everywhere.
Yeah, especially like one that was wiped out a fucking minute ago. That no one's been. There's no treasure, just old.
And because they're blessed by Primordial, like they're just there.
It's literally just plastic in the ocean kind of deal.
Yeah. It'd be like it had like there'd be like a bunch of them, but like they only cast magic missile.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
and like I can imagine
it's like a pamphlet that comes with a free defense spell and it casts shield.
Exactly. And I can imagine it's like proto-common. Because like when Divinity was trying to capitalize on shit, I can imagine it was before Common was made when Arcane was like, "Ayo." Why this bitch so hot?
Hey yo, who is you?
Who is you?
Magic pamphlets.
Pamphlets that had magic and shit.
It's like, just like my pamphlets, they come with free magic. Free magic.
Kinda, yeah.
Random first level.
I can imagine also because like this is like before Magic was like fucking. Well, I mean, it was during the Magic expansion era for Divinity, because I still think he's like a piece of shit. He wouldn't give spells; he would give cantrips,
Oh, okay.
like first level cantrips.
Well, cantrips aren't level based. There's cantrips.
Yeah, just random cantrips. He's like, here, you need.
Look,
if you
you can
believe
do
in
magic.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll make you like maybe like a tagline. It's like I'll make you holy. So like here, I'll make
Just
you
cast
cosmic. Yeah.
That'd be
He's
kind of
like,
funny.
I will show you the way. If you follow me, you will reap the benefits of what I show you. Like just to like give him more ego and fill himself up.
Yeah. When you open the fucking pamphlet, it just blinds you with a light spell.
Yeah, basically flashbangs you.
Material. Materials things would probably be similar, like, to the create water or create. Like,
Yeah, just like maybe like
he could be one of the creators of an ever-filling like
goblet.
goblet.
I was kind of thinking, you know the useless machines, the ones that like turn themselves off when you turn it
Yeah.
on. So like some rinky-dink little shitty toy that he would just pass out. Like this really intricate and really massively complex thing that like only he can make, but it had served no real grand purpose other than entertainment.
Yeah.
And you would give it like as a gift to a kid. Because I can imagine like that could be another thing that connects him to like Arcane. Like most of the other primordials, if not none of them, have like their own offspring, and Material is envious of that. He's just
Mhm.
like, damn, he actually pulled the trigger and went for it.
Yeah.
And so like he could have a soft spot for kids, and that's why he made that incredibly complex toy to impress children.
Mm-hmm. To get them
specific.
To get them to like kind of like him to a certain
Yeah,
extent.
well,
A
yeah, to
wannabe
like him, but
father.
he's just he wanted he just like wanted kids. He likes kids. And
Yeah.
he was envious he didn't have any, so he was just like, all right, I'll give kids toys. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the 10 provisional tomes of Arcane, probably for him, like.
Now he was
Trying to think.
teaching people magic, so it could be like wands.
That's
It's tough.
on God. I was thinking like you cut him a branch, he will give magical abilities to it, and it will like help you learn. Kind of like very bare bones, like primitive wands,
Yeah.
old primitive, like very much the blueprint of an actual wand.
Yeah.
Shovel warding. I don't think Death would give much, but maybe like he would give like he would give you special flowers or something if he walked by a gravestone or if you interacted with him and it's like someone
Maybe
left.
it's a flower that he creates and puts at every grave that like gives you something if you have it. It's a
Yeah.
death flower.
It's like a death flower, and also it could like when he gave it to like the grave, but like if there was a family there, he would also write on a note, let's just say like the person that passed away, their final message to them or something,
Yeah.
because he heard it. He obviously heard it. He carried them to the afterlife, so he could be like, here is their final words. So it could be this primordial piece
It's a
of paper.
flower. It's a flower that they put down. That
Yeah,
has
it's a
text
flower
on
with
the
a note.
inside. I'm thinking like it's a flower.
Oh,
and
like
and
in the flower?
the petals have their
That would be awesome.
have the final words that they want to say in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like the final like thoughts of the what
They-
you want, kind of like
It's
what you want
it's
to
a
hear about.
tune. It's a tune to the dead person.
Yeah.
And the dead person can choose their final words as they pass on to the death.
Exactly. I think that would be awesome.
Attuned to dead for final. And of like as magic became more advanced, if someone were to have a death flower, it would give you some sort of baby benefit to it. Like there would be some more like pseudo benefit now, but obviously back then people didn't care because it was like they kept it because it was their death flower.
A memento, yeah.
I feel like as Life's a Nomad, he'd probably be giving out something, but what would it be? Though?
If he's a nomad, he's probably just giving you fucking for like, not really a thing. I think this is like a side thing he would do. He would give you foreign fruits that there's zero chance that apples grow in this region. You've never even heard of it. You don't even know what the fuck this red fruit is. This random dumbass hippie said, "Ayo, try this shit. It busts."
Good
like
luck.
I can imagine that's like a side thing he does.
Yeah.
Like he's just like giving you shit. But like that can't. I don't think
He
that would
doesn't
be
give,
his
he doesn't
item.
give
though.
anything of. I don't know if he would ever give anything of use.
No, I think he would. But like I'm just saying that's a character thing. Like he gives you just like he gives fruits here.
Yeah.
He'll give like
He's literally the
maybe,
definition of a hippie nomad.
yeah. Like, "Ayo, try this." Like he's just like he's just there to be there.
Yeah.
I think that should be like a side thing that if you could put in parentheses after we figure out his item. Ugh. Hippie nomad. Nice.
I feel like he would only give this item when someone's about to die or like in peril and they're not supposed to die. It would be like, am I surprised? I thought it's something to the form of a painkiller.
Maybe a painkiller. I don't think.
apple.
I don't know about that. Because like it's like death is like at the end. I think for him to begin, maybe like he gives you something that gives you like not really a longer life, but like let's say if you have a baby and this random hippie is like, "Hey, give your baby this, make it, put it in its mouth, make it drink water, and like make it swallow this pill," and the baby grows up for the next 10 years with no health complications. Like you are just full of life, you are healthy, zero complications. Maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe like I don't know.
Maybe it's something
like he
the
puts some
child wears, like a scarf. Something like it's. I feel like he would give you a piece of clothing, a piece of his own clothing that he's worn, that then gives you that benefit. So it's like, oh, here, this scarf, and then it
or
becomes
like a lucky charm or something.
Yeah, it's basically like a charm. And
Okay.
it's like hold on to this in your family, and like your children will be fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like if you're worried about your kid having asthma, no, just put on this hat. He'll be fine.
Charm of life.
And like for him, it's just him giving the shit off his back. Like he's just that.
yeah, exactly.
Nice. He doesn't
That's what I'm thinking of. Is like
So like
because he's had it on his person for so long, it innately gets that benefit.
yeah, it just like rubs off on him.
Exactly.
And I can imagine that like he doesn't. For him specifically, I don't think he makes his own clothes. I think he just goes to towns, buys a new clothing item, and wears it for like let's say a year, and then he'll like the thing
gives
that
it off.
had a year already, he would give it at that town when he buys a new item.
Yeah, that's my thought process. It's like he'd literally that's what he does. He wanders.
Yeah.
He'll find new clothes. He
Mm.
like just go from there.
Mhm.
Okay. So we have, and then obviously we can add I can add more flavor like things later on like as items. Like if there was a life and death war that happened on a timeline, then other like items would be created for that sort of thing. Right now, where we currently are, life and death don't hate each other. There's no reason. They work together.
I don't think the primordials will hate each other outside of divinity.
Yeah.
But when you bring up the war thing, like them like clashing at each other, I think when divinity, like I said before, I would like life to be the first one to deify someone, which is the arcane's like let's just say spouse for now, and after that, divinity is like you can't do that, I can do that, and then he starts doing it like a motherfucker because he's a piece of shit.
Mhm.
And when he does Death's thing, that's the first job he quote unquote steals, because
Yeah.
Death said something to him like,
What if
like,
Death
why the
starts
fuck are you-
killing deities? Because
Yeah, maybe
they're breaking their time.
Yeah.
These people weren't supposed to have that much time.
exactly. So
So
Death
he-
starts killing him, and I want to say that divinity makes the god of death to be like a fuck you to him, and then life gets confused because he's like, I'm fine with the deities, you deal with them, death, and then this guy starts killing like the god of death. Let's just say starts killing people because he's like, whatever, like I'm a god, I can suck my dick,
Yeah.
and then life gets mad at the primordial death because of the confusion. That could be like
Yeah, so he
a war in air
he
quotes.
brings death. So once death becomes popular enough to become a god, he brings him to the mortal plane. He brings
Yeah.
death to the mortal plane as like the ultimate fuck you to death
exactly.
for killing his deities.
Yeah,
and then-
exactly.
What
And then
it's
life
a
is
death,
like-
it's a death on death war.
That would be cool. I would also like life to be like in the middle. He's like primordial death, like, why are you killing these people? And he's like, bro, I'm not killing these people. It's obvious. I have to like, you know,
I have a whole
I have
process.
to bless more life in this region because people are dying because of you. Like you're bullshitting me.
Yeah.
There could be a disagreement, and they might not like each other for like a millennia or something. Maybe
Yeah.
that.
The only one that's hated amongst them is Divinity. We already know that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Divinity is the problem. He's the problem child.
Yeah, he's the first one. He has the big brother syndrome where he has to be the best. Everyone has to follow him.
He at the start was definitely the most like probably righteous,
Yeah,
and then the power got to his head.
absolutely.
That's probably how it went for him.
Absolutely.
Everyone else was kind of humbled. Arcane was like, I'm just gonna keep doing my shit that I was doing
Yeah,
before.
Arcane could give a shit. Arcane was like, hey, yo, I just live forever, and I can keep doing this shit. Hey, yo, bet.
Hey yo, this
Light-
boy bussin'.
Hey, yo, this book of busted. What the fuck that tree branch doing? But, like, I can imagine, like, Death was like, hey, yo, it's a job, I guess. I hate it, but whatever. He hates it at first. He nullifies it, and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Life could be like, hey, yo, this is bussin'. And then he gets bored later on. He's just a
Then he
nomadic.
becomes a nomad. Just like there's
Yeah,
nothing.
he
There's
fucks
nothing for
off.
me to do as life. There's no
Yeah, exactly.
problems.
Yeah,
Life-
there's no problems. Like, I can walk up to your family and bless you if you want. I don't care.
I've created enough problems for death.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do too much anymore. And then materialism is just sitting in a room rotting.
Just come on, man. Y'all hurt.
Every 100 years, he just coughs like once or twice.
Dust.
He whimpers every millennia. Divinity doing his...
What?
What?
None.
You'll hear some.
Hey,
What the heck
materialism?
are we doing? I could see you trying to farm it, like in the camera. But like, yeah, that's how I like the way the primordials are shaping right now.
Yeah.
All right, before we talk about this for 2 hours, let's stop now and go to the gods. Let's address the gods.
Okay. All right. Let me open my list. We still have a lot more to do, but we'll get through the evil alignments and then I'll stop streaming for now. We'll get these done and this can be our kind of like our done for
Yeah,
now.
send off.
Hands up. Yeah. So, we were working on hate last time.
Mhm.
What the fuck is hate's ability? What's
When
the
attacking
blessing
the
of
person
hate?
you truly hate.
What our thought was last time is it's kind of like a vengeance situation, and then after you succeed in your vengeance, you gain something.
Hmm.
Isn't there a god of vengeance though?
There's not.
Oh, I thought there was.
No, war, hate, pain,
I think
fire.
that's the one that-
It's war, hate, pain, fire, envy, sun, and disease, and trickery. But trickery's already
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the one that
Durazio was a god of revenge.
yeah.
Yeah,
Rava
that was-
Here is an unknown. He's unknown.
Yeah.
He's an unknown god.
Ah, okay.
Revenge is something sort of ambiguous. I don't know how exactly I've been doing it, but revenge is one of the strongest blessings. Revenge will always be there, and revenge will always need to be there.
Yeah.
But he's not innately praised, so his blessing is not given.
I'm trying to think for hate. Maybe when you're engaging in combat with the person you truly hate. I don't want to say advantage because like it's very. If you truly hate them, that's very small. And if you're
Yeah.
going out of your way to find the person you hate, you might as well get like a massive benefit IMO.
That makes sense.
Maybe yeah, if you want it to be like a kill, then you stack something.
Yeah.
Maybe every person you hate, you get like a superiority die or something. Or like you get an extra D4 on damage rolls.
Yeah, I mean, something like that's super minimal. And it'd be really hard to say that you honest, like, that's why I'm saying truly hate.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Maybe like that. So like whenever you get into combat again, you could be like, I'm still mad that I had to kill that guy, but I hated him, so whatever.
yeah. Boom. All damage. 1d4.
Pain.
Now,
Kinda
pain.
niche.
So for
It is
pain,
a niche, yeah.
yeah. Hate is someone that kind of whispers in your ear and tricks you into joining his thing. It's not something that you do it by choice.
I don't see anyone that would by choice join that shit.
Yeah. Hate kind of gets in your ear. He's like, I heard you hate this guy. You want help with that?
Yeah.
I can help you.
It's like the devil on your shoulder.
Basically. Now, pain, we have pleasure. And pleasure is very similar.
What is pleasure?
Pleasure is when you take 5. It's right here. All damage received is reduced by 1. When you take damage 5 times, your next attack rolls for the turn will have advantage.
Maybe
Pain
for
is
pain-
more of the non-pleasurable side.
I was gonna say, maybe every 3 hits you receive, you get extra damage to you, and you also get like a damage benefit every 3 hits.
Or it could be you receive 1d4 additional damage, you deal 1d6 additional damage.
What?
You receive a d4 additional.
Oh, you receive. Okay, I thought you said
And
you
you-
send out 1d4 and also 1d6. I'm like, bro,
No.
at the
You-
10 damage? Why?
You take an additional d4 for every time you take damage,
Mhm.
but you give out an additional d6.
Okay.
I
I'm
feel
down with
like
that.
you get fucked though with dual attacks. I think that's the kind
You
of the
would get
gamble.
fucked. Yeah,
That's
you
the
would
gamble.
get fucked, but also if you have dual attacks,
Yeah,
you fuck.
you fuck it.
True.
Maybe lower it. Maybe like D4.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
YouTube link by Facebook. I gotta figure out what the fuck pain does with an outside source link. Chris, the video's gone.
It could be you take 2 additional damage, just something super small like that, or
Yeah, maybe you.
decrease your health total by like when combat starts, take this amount of damage, just at the start of combat. Like at the start of combat, take 10 damage, but for your first attack, you'll deal 15. Guaranteed.
Or it could be like a thing where it's like you deal self-inflicted damage before an attack as a bonus action, and your next attack does a fuck ton of damage.
I like that. As a... there we go. I'll have to make the spell self-harm, but it'll just be like you literally cut yourself before you attack and use your blood to deal an additional damage.
Change from the where it says. Alright, no, finish that first.
As a bonus action, you can use self-harm to improve your damage.
Your damage roll.
Damage rolls.
Maybe let's say for self-harm, you can choose how much you want to take.
And you deal double that, maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
feel
say.
like with that, I could set a cap where you can only self-harm three times per combat. So you could go all in on self-harm. I feel like that's so cool at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to start playing the music for it, or Rhythm Bot goes away. It's so like, I feel like you could probably get that spell from somewhere else too.
Yeah.
As a thing, but
Change you see where it says passive as a bonus action, change it to active.
oh yeah, true, because you're activating it. Hold on. Where is it? Well, I kind of say it's passive because you gain the spell. I could say you gain the spell self-harm, which. But
Yeah, you can keep that if you want.
because
Fire.
activatable means it's that one time per combat activate.
Mhm.
That's what activatable means. There we go. Fix that. Okay. Massive.
Alright, fire. Marcus, do you have any ideas for the God of Fire?
For the god of
Yes.
I don't
Evil
know.
alignment.
It'll just be like
What if while you're standing in
passive.
fire, you heal? You're not immune to
well.
fire, but when you're standing in a source of fire, has to be a source.
You just okay. Well, if you're not immune to it, then it would kind of just be neutral, wouldn't it? You'd not be.
You would
gaining
take
or
damage.
anything
Yeah,
else.
you would take damage and deal damage to yourself.
Or while you're standing in fire, you deal additional fire damage. So you like set up a fucking basically you empower yourself with fire from underneath you. Or something like when you're when casting a fire spell, any
Oh, how
fire
about-
surrounding you will be engulfed into the spell, or something like
How
that.
about for fire, any enemy or object that is on fire, you have advantage on. So you have to preemptively light them on fire, and so since they're on fire, you can just like hard focus them.
That's a good niche for it. That makes sense.
I do like that.
Oh, I pushed it.
Then
Or maybe like you deal damage rolls to fire gods.
Not again.
Nice.
What?
Also, Lindy called us losers.
Did she?
yeah,
What in the chat?
Yeah, the main Discord.
Oh, I thought she went to the server. I was gonna say, is she watching the kids while we're? Let's just watch this stream while she's watching kids. When an enemy is on fire, deal and push.
And since it's so niche, I think you can go full send it with like a D6.
I was gonna say 2d6.
That's that's a certifiable sheesh moment.
D6.
I say 1d6 and then and then patch it if it's not good enough.
Yeah, it's good to say 1d6 and then make it reusable. And then if I don't like it, then make it activatable and then make it 3d6. So you can only do it
Yeah,
once.
exactly. That's why the passive ones are so nice because they just happen.
Yeah, and it's a lot more value. That's why with the activatables, you gotta try and make it more balanced because it's a one-time like pump and dump situation. Where it's like I'm putting all of my shit into this exact part. This activatable is okay because you can do call lightning. This one's justice. When activated against those of evil alignment, you have +5 on all attack rolls and have +3 on advantage or on damage rolls against them for the next 2 turns. That's a big that's like a big
It's a
niche.
fat move. That's a fat fucking
Yeah.
move.
And then the player also has an innate ability to sense strong malintent.
Malintent.
So you can sense evil.
Mhm.
Now to envy. Envy's weird.
Yeah.
What exactly is envy? Let me look up.
Being jealous. You're envious. You're jealous. You want what they have.
What if it's an activatable to make people jealous of you?
No, I was gonna think it needs to be an activatable, but I don't think it would be that because that's kind of shitty, TBH. But for an activatable for Envy, Ayo, Ayo, you're looking at someone, you're like, man, I am envious of their buffs. Yoink.
Oh god.
So you can take a buff from someone.
Maybe like you can take any like buff they have, or
You can only choose
can-
one buff to take.
one, maybe two, or you could steal someone's AC, and I mean like steal.
There'd have to be a cap to how much. It'd be like you can only steal 5 AC. That's a lot.
Yeah, you
though.
could steal like an enemy's 5 AC for
But that
a
would
certain
be
amount of time.
broken. Yeah, it'd have to be a cap in time.
Yeah,
So you can either steal a buff or steal the AC of an opponent for blank amount of turns.
yeah.
You can steal.
I think that would be a beast one. And the thing with Envy is that like that is such a niche god that like there will be like one enemy in all one like if we play like let's say in theory 10 campaigns
Yeah.
and then we're done with this. I can probably count 1 or 2 enemies that might have it.
Yeah.
It's
And that'd
so
be like the
niche.
big. The thing is that scares me because you know the frost giant or the giant spell that
Oh yeah, he has.
he would if it gets stolen off of him. What it'd be like you can no. I feel like you could copy it.
No, I want to say
If
you're envious of someone, you want what they have specifically.
true.
You want to take what they have. So I think it should be a steal. That's why I said specifically you steal it.
Opponent.
Oh, how about you steal like it's not a choice. You steal a buff from an enemy, and if they have no buffs, you steal AC.
Oh, okay.
So if they have a buff on it, you can either do it very early, or if they buff themselves, you can wait. It's like one of those moments. You have to choose when to use it, and if you mess up the timing, you're kind of fucked.
You steal buffs from an opponent if they possess no buffs. Steal 5. 5's a lot.
Let's nerf it down to 3.
Yeah. 3 AC for 2 turns. Okay, now we already know the sun.
Fucking.
You get +1 on taking shits.
Oh,
Fucking some.
hey.
Rage. I love like when it happened. I loved seeing 2 people walk outside, say, "What the fuck? Let me back in. I want to beat the shit out of him," and then see them get their shit refunded.
And then not get their shit back. I didn't get their shit back. I just got the tattoo ripped off.
My face went.
All right. Disease.
We were against his values. We didn't care about the stuff. We just didn't like his values.
Creativity issues.
Yeah.
Creative differences.
Disease. It's not. You wouldn't be immune to sickness.
No, absolutely. Are
No.
you joking me?
It wouldn't be immunity to sickness.
I would say if it's a disease,
Think something
activatable.
like activatable.
You give
something
someone
with your
What if it's you can give someone a random disease, and it's like
Like
a
a random
rollable
disease?
table. It's an activatable once per combat. Like give a random disease.
I was kind of thinking, well, don't make it random because that you could just like you get cancer. What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Maybe you could make it pertaining to whatever item or weapon they're holding.
Yeah.
Like, say you hit someone with a sword. Oh, the sword was rusty. Motherfucker has tetanus.
Kind of like
So
how I was
something
thinking
like
of it.
upon a hit, you can activate the ability to
Yeah.
plague someone with a common disease.
Yeah, kind of like like Plight for Technomancer.
Yeah.
Like you buff yourself for a second and then you're like magazine in air quotes. So for this one, for a disease, it could be like for like the whole next turn, all things you hit are coded with a secrete like disease. And it could either be like damage over time, it could be something that shreds their armor, it could be something that slows them. We can decide what it is. I like the damage over time one. That's just because I like dot damage in every video game.
Your weapons or spells gain a sickness to them. On contact with an enemy.
Deals like maybe like 2d2s or 2d6s every turn for 2 turns or 3 turns.
It could be 2d4s. 2d4s.
Yeah, 2d4s.
Average of 4 damage.
Yeah.
2d4. On contact with an enemy, deal 2d4.
And for balance, I don't know if you put any like of the things. Put like debuff can only apply to be at like the debuff can only be applied once per monster or creature.
Yeah.
You can't just like stack it 6 times.
It's only an activatable too. So this is a one-time like I'm gonna poison like the group or something. Oh, I mean,
spells getting the sickness to them, contact with them, deal. Like how I was thinking of it, like your full turn, whatever you hit gets a debuff on it.
yeah.
Like if you have like multi-strike and then you use any time to hit again.
You kind of all in on that turn.
Yeah.
It's you use your blessing, you use your anytime, and you just fucking swing.
Yeah. I don't think you should be able to debuff something 5 times in a row though.
Yeah.
Fucking turn into a round at 1300.
Exactly.
Mass.
Ayo, Byzantine Empire, where you at though?
Can only stack
Once.
2 total. So you can only hit when you hit a person twice.
Okay.
So they deal. Only
So
stack.
like
Or I just say cannot stack. Let's just say can't stack. Let's just go with that. So it'll only hit it once, and you do 2d4. So you don't have to say stack once.
yeah. Is there
So-
any other evil alignment gods?
Right now there isn't.
Okay. We put Chris Kelly.
Activatable. You die.
Activatable.
Activatable.
Roll death dice
Look like
until
a-
death.
Death is a neutral. I have death as neutral because he doesn't. He acts like an evil god. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
The way
God
I
of
play
death,
him
yeah.
now. But no one.
Yeah.
It's also no one follows him. He doesn't give a blessing.
Yeah, he just is there.
I'll put him in the
especially
unknown
because-
for that reason.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a blessing.
And also for the primordial lore, I want him to be the first god kind of moment.
Yeah.
So like Divinity was like, "Hey, yo, fuck you, God."
He was
He didn't even think about it. Like he didn't even think about it.
He was the first
Yeah,
mortal.
he didn't even think about it.
Divinity didn't make the gods. He brought them to the mortal plane. That's what
Oh
he did.
yeah.
Yeah. Gods were created from mortals' thoughts and mortals'
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. So the realization of death is what made him a god in the sky. And then Divinity was like, "All right, come down. Let's go."
Let's go square up.
Divinity probably could talk to the gods for a while, but no one believed that they existed until he brought them down.
No, I think the primordial gods knew about him because like they were like, "Hey, yo, like Divinity, what do you do?" "Oh, I talk about people on the other rim." "All right, whatever, no one cares."
Yeah.
But like after a while, the gods kind of probably were just like, "Hey, yo, Divinity, bring me to the mortal realm."
Like
Okay.
I want to see what the fuck's going on. Let me down.
Let me down. You let death out. Why won't you let me out? Kind of moment.
Let me out.
So now, yeah. So at one point, he's like an overglorified doorkeeper.
Yeah.
And the other primordial gods know that. He knows that, hates that, so that's why he's such an egotistic piece of shit. And all the gods like love him because they let him out.
Yeah. So he works for the gods' favor, and he has the gods' favor,
Yeah, exactly.
even though they're nothing compared to any of the.
I was gonna say like he could be like, I have an army, and then literally life is like, hey,
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Doug? No? We've lost him. Plug him back in. Plug him back in!
okay.
Oh, hold on. Your internet's coming back.
Can you not hear me?
I hear you now.
At no point did I DC from my side. So, like, I think you
I can
both
hear
of you.
You just started your tangent.
Oh.
Yeah.
But, like, for me, both of you just went, like, just schizoid. It's like, Doug, you're gone. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I could see Discord. I'm talking on Discord. Ain't nothing happened. But let's just say, like, so all the gods follow divinity, and the divinity is like, I have an army. What are you going to do? Like, the god of life can straight up pull up. I am a nomadic, hippie, crackhead. I am on opioids right now. I could kill each one of them without even blinking. Like, they're all that. Like, each of the primordials.
I could revert their mortal form back to that of a baby. Then what
Exactly.
are they going to do?
Exactly. Like, all the primordials don't give a shit about any of the gods. They could step on them and walk past them without even blinking, knowing they were even there.
And
It's like ants to them.
It's also because they, like, while the gods have... Yeah, you're good. While the gods have magic that we can't comprehend, the primordials have magic that the gods can't comprehend.
Absolutely. Astronomically, lootly. Yeah.
So that's why the cosmic magic is on a different fucking tier because of that.
Like materialism, like all the gods can, like, if they know about materialism, I can imagine, like, especially the newer ones don't have a fucking clue who the fuck he is. They only know divinity and maybe death.
Yeah.
They won't even know who the fuck life is because he's some hippie out in the desert.
gods probably remember the Death Clash, and they probably thought it was so fun to watch.
Yeah, they were like, oh, that's fucking beasting.
Man,
but,
look
like,
at them go.
Like, let's just say in canon for now that materialism is the weakest magic-wise because he only creates. Like, he doesn't do anything for necessarily war.
He's weak to what he believes he's the weakest. I think.
Yeah.
Is what we
So
should,
the primordials might think he is the weakest, and he might be like, "Yeah, I am the weakest. I'm not gonna fight you." Kind of moment.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
if
here
a
to
god
fight.
pulls up to them, like to him, he could just be like. And not only is their entire like identity ripped out of them, they're gone, reduced to mere atoms,
I just
and then
imagine
sent to the mortal world.
He goes like this. He makes a box, and just a perfect fucking prison is built around him.
I can imagine like he just has a box, and it's like he like opens something, like he just like he makes like a small little projector and like this like little crummy little god, and he like turns on the light. It sucks the fucking divine magic right out of them in front of him, and he can just sit there and laugh at them, because they're like previously
he like turns
gods.
his fucking pen to a god sucker. Just
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck off. But, like, they were alive for so long, they then just reduced to fucking, like, ash because they were alive. So, and, like, life finally caught up to him. And he's just like, you fucking idiot. Do you know who the fuck you're dealing with? Are you joking? That's how I imagine it, yeah.
He doesn't understand his own capabilities because he's been put on that bottom mantle for so long.
Yeah.
That he assumes that he's there.
Yeah. I think he knows how far he can go. He just assumes everyone else is better.
Yeah.
So that's why he doesn't, like, try. And that's why he's just sitting there bored. He's like, dude, I can't do anything. There's nothing to do. I'm
cool
out of
enough.
magic. Yeah.
He could also he could be the teacher of artificers too.
Yeah, he could just be like,
I
well,
was thinking about that earlier.
Like he could got so like he made this university that he kind of shows up to every now and then. Just when he actually gets up from his chair, and he goes there for like fairs and stuff like that to see if they create anything new and interesting.
I can imagine he's like the not the principal, not the prime minister, but like he's just someone that is not really a mascot, but like he obviously runs the place, but he's not the runner. Like he's not the principal. He doesn't run curriculum. Like he'll just show up. Like exactly, he'll be like a judge at a fair, and he'll be like, "That's a cool idea." Stamp.
That's literally all he does. He'll just show up. They won't even know he's coming. He'll just show up and be like, "What'd you make? What is that?"
They're like, "What is this?"
Cool. And you just get like
Cool.
the actual like magnum opus stamp that means you passed the entire like.
Yeah,
You
like if he
passed
likes your
school.
idea that much, and he favors it, just like a little stamp.
That stamp means you literally like you have guaranteed like free tuition for the rest of the rest of Artificer School.
You don't even have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
You're gonna be hired after school, guaranteed as an inventor. Like they will hire you after that.
You have the Artificer's stamp of fucking materialism.
Yeah. Yeah. And they could just like perceive him as like they won't know he's the primordial god of materialism. They're like, oh, Grandmaster Archduke fucking fat nuts.
That's like they have a cover name for him, but they don't know who he is.
Yeah, like he's been in the school system for so long, his name's muddied up. He's had different titles because he's worked different positions. He's done different things.
Just to keep himself entertained.
Yeah, just to keep himself entertained. He's worked janitor. He's done random shit. He's made janitor things. He's made lights. He's made all this extra shit. He could just have like a title at the school.
Yeah.
The Crafter or something. Like let's just say like it's a shitty name, but like let's just say like the school. He has the title The Crafter at the school, and then he just like kind of vibes there.
Yeah. No, it's like what I'm imagining is like at the center of this university is just like this bigger tower where he stays in, and no one like the tower's like entirely locked. No one can really go in it, and no one watches it. They're like someone breaks in there, they're fucked anyways.
Yeah, it's in the middle of campus. Like you can ring up. No one ever goes up it. There's like an elevator to his like the top floor.
I feel like his magnum opus, the thing he's most proud of, was probably the wheel. He was like, look at this thing.
Never gonna be anything like the wheel anymore.
He has like the
exactly. He's just sitting there. They don't make shit no more.
He has like the original wheel that he made.
Oh yeah, he has the wheel. He has the wheel, the singular wheel on his fucking porch. It's covered in cobwebs and shit. He just looks at it like, damn. That was a year.
Shit like this anymore.
That was a time.
They don't make shit like this anymore. This shit bussin'.
This shit. I made that with stone, my fucking hands, and sweat and tears. These fuckers with wires, cables, fucking redstone, magic, pistons and shit. I had to fucking break my arm to make that fucking rock go where I wanted it to. I can imagine that. That'd be funny as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. So that's where he is. We just got to figure out where, though. Like, where is that? There's the materialist. There he is.
That's the boy.
That's the boy.
More than likely, he'll probably my imagination is probably somewhere near Dwarvenheim. There's probably a big university. It's like the Artificer University of this domain.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind
the Grand Artificer School of something. Yeah.
Keep in mind the Ed Arcan is a lot bigger than our map.
Yeah.
And we haven't gone. I'm not gonna spoil what's going on outside the map, but there's shit going on outside the map. So the materialist or materialism, he might be he's in this region. He's with them. He's probably he just stayed here for a long time.
Yeah.
Arcane has probably been here because it's the most populated.
Yeah, for Arcane, how he does it, he just goes. Like, he'll walk in a single direction, or he'll dimension door to somewhere he's never been before. So he's literally been everywhere, but he's nowhere at the exact moment because he's just teleporting around. Yeah.
So there's an abysmal, there is like a 1%, 0.1% chance that you'll ever run into him.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. He'll literally just go everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's probably why our domain of Ed Arcan probably hasn't heard of him as much. Because he hasn't been here in a while.
Yeah. And he's just like, right now, in canon, he's basically just an old guy who's very funny, and you don't get any information from it. He just overloads you with random scrambles of bullshit, and then, during the night, he'll just walk away.
Yeah. Still hates the Goldsteins.
So, yeah. Absolute visceral. Spanning generations.
He doesn't remember what domain they're in, but when he finds them...
I can imagine that's how we drag him into the story if we're still in this area when we add him.
I'm looking for a Goldstein!
looking for a Goldstein. An alchemist, I've heard last.
I haven't been in this domain in a few years. I kind of forgot about
Kind of forgot.
Have you seen him?
What day is it? What year is it? Sir, it's like 1780. No, it's 10k BC, retard.
You fucking moron!
You fucking moron.
I have it right here in my book. The last time I recorded.
It's completely unintelligible. It's just literally rambling. It's just like it's a Fortnite funny book.
Wait a minute, we're supposed to have these and it disappears out of his hands. Oh, there's meta again.
Like it's just like, hey, it's like you talk to him and it's just like, I think I know the Goldsteins. He then puts his fingers up to his temple. Let's go.
God, fucking damn it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Disappears again.
Let's go. Doesn't even hear where it is. Forgot where he was, so he can't teleport back. For the next 3 days, he's just mad at a tavern.
Fucking goddamn it. I swear, he's a Goldstein. Oh, wait. Goldstein. That's right. Where are those motherfuckers?
Was he a dwarf or a gnome? I forgot.
Dwarf. I think.
Dwarf. I think.
I haven't checked in a while. But I think that's where we're gonna end the D&D session, or the lore thing today.
Gotcha.
We now have. I already did. Yeah, we now have primordials on the docket,
Mhm.
and the next time
And
we
we
do
have-
this, we have all the evil alignment. The hardest one will be next time when we do neutrals.
Yeah, that one's just gonna be like
Yeah,
annoying.
and then probably what we'll do is that I'll make a shared Google Doc with all three of us next time,
Mhm.
and then we'll start typing up stories for our primordials.
Gotcha.
So Marcus, which ones do you want to take? Because materialism has his lore.
Kind
So
of.
the-
Yeah, he's basically there. We just
Yeah.
gotta write the beginning, middle. We have his ending. We know where he is.
So there's life, death,
Divinity.
right now, and divinity.
Life, death, to divinity. But we have divinity's like middle and early.
we
have
know-
we have
yeah.
his middle.
We know his
We know what
current
direction
stages.
he's going. Yeah, we know where he's going.
Do you want to take death or life? Which one do you fancy more of writing a story about? The grave digger that digs graves and puts death flowers to tell people about their final words? Or
Or you want a
the
hippie?
random nomad hippie?
You want a meth head?
I don't know. I'm more interested in the material guy, to be honest.
If
but
no, take
Really?
him.
he's already finished.
No,
No,
we-
no, 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 no,
it's
no,
just
no, no,
it's-
no, no, no.
just his end
That's
game.
his current. That's his current. If you want to fill in everything else and you want to add to his current, do it.
Yeah, that's fine. You can if you want take the material guy because it's the only thing is we know we have this idea of where he is now.
Like today, if you want to make it up, like how he got there, like a week ago, sure. But like that's just even if you want to change it, I
Yeah.
think that should be the template story right now. We
That's
can
our
put
current,
it down,
yeah.
and if you want to make a new story, Marcus, make a new story. Make a new story. Go. You can full send it. Yeah, full send
Yeah.
it.
That's what we're here to do. Is if you think you have a better idea or like literally just have a different idea, that's what we're here to do. Make it
Yeah.
up. Go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Take them.
If you wanna make the materialist, do it. Do it.
All
What-
right.
It's
That's
yours
just
now.
the- That's just the placeholder.
It's yours now. Here you go. Take it.
Go shoot. The only thing that's required is that he's friends with the arcane guy.
Yeah.
Only thing.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. We're gonna end this here. So bye stream.
Bye stream.
We actually got shit done.
No.
No. And then I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go just relax for a second. I need to lay down. I'm a little bit tired.
Gotcha.
If you guys start playing, I want to start gaming. I did download Smite on here, so I'll game with you guys later. So, all right, bye stream. That was a good job, everyone. That was a good thing. All right.
Yes.
And